This is KI0AR. Does anyone need to use the repeater systems before I begin this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net? Please go ahead now. Calling the Colorado Astronomy Net, calling the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is KI0AR. My name is Bernice, and I'll be your net control for this evening's Colorado Astronomy Net. Just a reminder, the 3-minute timeout function is still in effect, so during long transmissions, please allow the repeater systems to reset themselves. Also, please use the word break for emergency or prior to traffic. If there is any emergency or prior to traffic, please go ahead now. Okay, nothing heard. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This net meets every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 100 Zulu on Wednesdays on the SkyHub link system of repeaters as well as YouTube. So, and we're here to discuss topics of an astronomical nature, what's up in the night skies for the week, any other special events that may be of interest to the amateur radio astronomy enthusiasts around the world. Also, this is one of the few nets where your check-in does count. I tally up the numbers and send them off to JPL at the end of each month. Counts as part of their outreach to the general public, which we are a part. So all check-ins are definitely appreciated. I take check-ins several ways. If you happen to have NetLogger, please log into that and look for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'll get you logged in when I see your name pop up in the AIM window. I also take them via YouTube. Anyone listening to the YouTube channel tonight, I do appreciate that. If you do have a call sign, definitely enter that into the chat. If not, if you have, I'm sure you have a first name, but a first name and a location, because some of the IDs there are interesting to say the least, for sure, as to who you are there. And I like to kind of keep track of the numbers. Like I say, I do keep track of the numbers anyway and send the numbers into JPL. Definitely appreciate getting those through as well. I'll take them over the air in just a minute. And if you're just out there listening and have no other way, maybe you can send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and just let me know you're out there listening. Again, first name and a location, city and state is fine. Or country for that matter. We've had some DX stations check in every now and then, so which I definitely appreciate. Right now, I'll go ahead and acknowledge those that I do have on the list already. We got Paul, WA7GVL, thanks for checking in tonight. Jack, KE0VH, thanks for checking in tonight. Randall, AE7RJ, thanks for checking in tonight. Moy, N5ZIQ, thanks for checking in tonight. John, W2JLS, thanks for checking in tonight. And Ken, NV7SS, thanks for checking in tonight. I don't see anybody over on YouTube yet, so we'll go ahead and open up the net. Anybody wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo Yankee 4, November Bravo. Kilo Yankee 4, November Bravo. Scott Hudson. Control, this is Kilo India 7, Papa Kilo Lima. KI7 BKL. Alpha Bravo 3, Hotel Oscar. Alpha Bravo 3, Hotel Oscar. Jerry in Pennsylvania. Kilo 9er November Oscar Charlie. Kilo 9er November Oscar Charlie. Kilo Charlie 8, Lima Yankee Golf. Kilo Charlie 8, Lima Yankee Golf. Richard Mass, Ohio.
Okay, looks like we got a couple of new calls on the list. So if you're a first-time check-in, stick around, please. I've got a few questions for you to start off. I'm going to get back to you in just a sec as soon as I acknowledge everybody else. Let's see. I do definitely want to officially welcome the new calls, but right now we got, yeah, Scott. KY4NB, thanks for checking in tonight. Roy, KI7PKL, thanks for checking in tonight. Jerry, AB3HO, thanks for checking in tonight. That's a new call on the list, so welcome. Got some questions for you in just a sec. Patrick, K9NOC, thanks for checking in tonight. And Rick, KC8LYG, thanks for checking in tonight. Also a new call on the list, so welcome, Jerry and Rick. Again, my name is Bernice. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. Been doing this for or you've been doing astronomy for decades, got your own telescopes and stuff like that, what your interest might be within the realm of astronomy. Go ahead, AB3HO, please go ahead, share with us.
Good evening. This is Jerry from Pennsylvania. My call sign is Alpha Bravo 3, Hotel Oscar. And I just happened to hear the subject there, astrology, and that sounded like very interesting. Astronomical, they're always interesting. So I thought I'd just sit down and listen and see what I can learn. Anyway, hey, thanks for picking me up, and I'll be listening to see what's going on. AB3HO back in there.
All right, Jerry, welcome to the net. Yeah, lots to learn tonight. Some very interesting events coming up this week that everybody can share worldwide. So some interesting topics for sure. We talked a little bit about that last week, but this is the week where everything is happening. So that's part of the bulletins after the local astronomical news. That's where I tell you what's up in the night skies, at least where they are and what to look for. Rick, KC8LYG, same question. What's your interest, background in astronomy? You starting out, or you've been doing it for decades, somewhere in between? What's your interest in astronomy? Please go ahead.
I'm probably maybe a beginner in the middle. I've always been looking up all my life. I've got a small telescope, a bunch of lenses and filters, and a camera, and my backyard with an HT, talking to a repeater probably 30 miles away. I'm not into Echolink or All-Star or any of that, so I think it's great that I can check into a Colorado Net with RF. But anyhow, I'll get it back to you. I don't know how good you're picking me up. Like I say, I am portable. But he's a 1G back to net control.
All right, this is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Don't know what that was. A little bit of hissing there and sound like an open mic of some sort. But Rick, we copied you. No problems on your HT. And glad you can hook up through a local repeater into our SkyHub Link system. So yeah, Jack is real appreciative of that for sure. Actually, all of us are. And welcome to the net for sure. And yeah, definitely stick around, and glad you got. Sorry, I have the little issues with mounting the camera there. We do have an astrophotographer on tonight. You may want to check out Roy, KI7PKL's QRZ webpage. He's got some marvelous pictures. Might be able to handle some tips as well. So who knows? So please stick around. We'll run about well now another hour and 3/4 till 9 Colorado time. So hopefully those of you who are on the East Coast or Eastern time can stick around for the Q&A part. Definitely like that, and I do appreciate you guys staying up late on the East Coast with us tonight for sure. Oh, it looks like I'm over on YouTube, but I got nobody checking in. I usually have a bunch over there, so I don't know exactly what's going on. It does look like I am streaming, so there you go. All right. I'll look for check-ins a little bit later on. If you have NetLogger or on YouTube, I'll get you on right away and acknowledge you at the next break or two. Otherwise, I'm going to press on. Got a fairly long topic tonight on the Perseids, and hopefully you'll stick around for that. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Announcements. I publish a monthly astronomy newsletter via email and the World Wide Web. If you wish to subscribe to the email version of my newsletter, please send me an email to ki0ar@ki0ar.com and request to be put on the list. Or you may visit the website at www.ki0ar.com/astro.html. And at the top of the web page is also a spot where you may submit your email address and get subscribed to the email version of the newsletter as well. If you don't want to remember all that, just Google my call sign, KI0AR. You'll find a whole bunch of links, including links to the webpage and the newsletter. I also volunteer with a youth group called the International Association for Astronomical Studies, a youth group that meets out in Strasbourg on Friday evenings, actually Friday afternoons and evenings. Now, always looking for new members, freshmen through senior high school age students interested in astronomy, amateur radio, high power rocketry, remote control aircraft flying, full scale aircraft construction, archaeoastronomy, radio astronomy, and balloon launch communications. More than welcome to visit our website at www.iaas.org for more information. Also check us out on Facebook under the same name, the International Association for Astronomical Studies. If you look up IAAS on Facebook, you'll find a whole bunch of stuff that's nothing related to us. So look for the whole full name there. Let's see. All right. What else? What else? Oh yes, the IAAS has their own call sign, K0AAS. So if you happen to hear us on the air, definitely give us a shout. We try to monitor. Sometimes we don't monitor so much during the meetings because it detracts from their work time, and we're in the process of finishing up our presentation room. So got the carpet in, got the walls painted, and now we're going to get the furniture moved in and all that kind of stuff. So we're putting the students to work, doing heavy lifting, so that's good for them. And then they'll be able to do some presentations, and hopefully those that are in the local area will be able to come out and see some of those. That's just about it. I'm going to let this thing reset and then give you one more announcement. For those of you who are into flight simulations, you may want to check out Jack's YouTube page, Captain Jack Flight Sim, CapnJackFLTSIM. We'll be doing he does flight simulation flights on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Always a good time to listen in and fly along with he and the rest of he and his crew. He's got a bit of a following as well, so fly along and chat with him and just see the simulated sights. And actually, the simulations do a very good job of rendering what he's flying over to as well. So tomorrow he'll be going from Denver to Dallas. And let's see, flying his 737-800. So check that out tomorrow evening. And ride along with him for from 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time till whenever he decides to land. Always interesting to fly along with you, Jack. Apologies for missing it yesterday, but I'll see what I can do to catch it tomorrow. And that's all I have for announcements. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. And welcome, David, over on YouTube, N3NTV. Thanks for checking in tonight, David. Do appreciate it. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and get into the local astronomical news. I kind of bypassed that last week with all the teasers for August. Now we're going to get into August for sure. Start off as usual with the phases of the moon. We got a last quarter moon. What is today? We had a last quarter moon on the 5th. We got a new moon coming up on the 12th. That's tomorrow. So we'll be talking about that in just a few minutes as well. We got first quarter moon coming up on the 19th and a full moon on the 28th. The moon was at perigee, its closest approach to the Earth, yesterday. It was 225,734 miles from Earth. And you'll find out the reason why I give these apogees and perigees. We got the moon will be at apogee, its farthest point away from the Earth this month. On the 22nd, it will be 251,433 miles from Earth. Planetary highlights for August. A partial lunar eclipse is visible across the U.S. this month, while a total solar eclipse occurs in Europe. Venus dominates after sunset, reaching 50% illumination. Most planetary activity is after midnight as Saturn and Neptune rise in Pisces. The pre-dawn hours reveal a fine conjunction between Jupiter and Mercury, and Mars crosses into Gemini while Western Taurus hosts Uranus. Excerpt is from Astronomy Magazine, August 2026, page 28, and a big omission from the paragraph there. We will talk about the Perseid meteor shower peaking this week, especially in the bulletin. All right, on with the planets in just a sec. Mercury was at greatest westerly elongation back on the 2nd. It was about 19 degrees above the eastern horizon. Mercury will be at superior conjunction on the 27th, meaning that it is behind the sun and us. The sun will be between us and Mercury. Mercury rises at, let's see, oh, shoot. I forgot. That's what I forgot to do, is get the rise and set times for this week. So I'm gonna wing it a little bit. Oh, let's see. Mercury is rising. Oh, what time? About 4 a.m. this week. Mercury returns to the evening sky, setting about 7:49 p.m. by month's end. Mercury is visible in the eastern sky about 30 minutes before sunrise during the first 3 weeks of the month, then disappears into the morning and evening twilight glow for the rest of the month. Mercury moves from the constellation of Gemini into Leo, shining at magnitude 0.3 on the 1st. And my usual quick tutorial on magnitude, since I do use that quite a bit and gives you a reference for brightnesses. The magnitude scale is an inverse logarithmic scale, meaning as the magnitudes go up, the apparent brightness of an object decreases by a factor of about 2.5. The dimmest object that the human eye can see under optimal conditions is about 6th magnitude. So a magnitude 5 object is 2.5 times brighter than a magnitude 6 object, while a magnitude 7 object is 2.5 times dimmer. However, take a look at all of these objects with binoculars or a telescope, especially the brighter ones where you can see a lot more detail. Venus will be at greatest eastern elongation, about 46 degrees east of the sun on the 15th, so mid-month. So it'll be as high as it's going to get in the western sky after sunset. Venus is setting about 10 p.m. This week. Let's see. Look for Venus to the west about 30 minutes after sunset, about 45 degrees above the western horizon. Very visible. Don't confuse it with an incoming aircraft. Aircrafts are going to have flashing lights on their wingtips and will move. Yeah, get your binoculars out and take a look at Venus, or put a telescope on it, even better. Venus is in the constellation of Virgo, shining at magnitude minus 4.4, so very bright in the western sky in the evening. If you haven't already been looking at it, take a look at it through a telescope for sure, and you will see Venus in phase. You will never see a full Venus, nor will you ever see a full Mercury. They are not dots like the other planets are. You will see it it should get up to about 50% when it's at farthest You'll see half of it illuminated. So take a look at Venus. It is actually kind of strange to see a planet only half illuminated, so definitely take a look at it. We got Mars rising about 2 a.m. this week. Look for Mars to the southeast in the morning sky about 30 minutes before sunrise. Mars moves from the constellation of Taurus into Gemini, shining at magnitude 1.3. And we got Jupiter rising about 5:30 a.m. This week. Jupiter is visible during the last 2 weeks of the month to the east in the morning sky before sunrise. Right now, it's a little bit too close to the sun to be spotted clearly, and I don't want you looking at the sun or looking at Jupiter and the sun at the same time without proper filtering. Jupiter is in the constellation of Cancer, shining at magnitude -1.8. And we got Saturn rising, about 10:30, 10:45 p.m. of this week. Look for Saturn towards the east in the very late evening sky after sunset. So closer to midnight. Actually, give it some time to rise after midnight to see Saturn in a much better position. Saturn is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 0.5. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Continuing, Uranus is rising about 1 a.m. this week. Look for Uranus to the south in the morning before sunrise. Uranus is in the constellation of Taurus, shining at magnitude 5.7. So for these planets that are rising in the late evening or very, very early hours of the morning, give it some time and go out about 2 or 3, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning if you want to see these when they're higher up above the horizon. A little easier to see, but of course you do have to get up pretty early. Neptune is rising about 10:15 p.m. this week. Look for Neptune towards the east in the late evening sky after sunset. Neptune is in the constellation of Pisces, shining at magnitude 7.7. Same thing goes for Neptune there. Give it some time. Wait till after midnight to take a look. For dwarf planets, we have Ceres rising about 2:30 a.m. this week. Ceres can be spotted low to the south in the morning sky before sunrise. Ceres moves from the constellation of Taurus into Gemini, shining at magnitude 8.9. So get out there about an hour or so before sunrise, and you'll have a little bit of time to spot all of these other morning planets for sure. We got Pluto rising in the early evening now, about 7:30 p.m. Pluto can be spotted to the south around midnight. Pluto is in the constellation of Capricornus, shining at magnitude 15.1. And right now is the perfect time to challenge yourself to see if you can find Pluto in the morning sky. This is a dark sky with the new moon occurring tomorrow. And a very thin crescent moon after that. So definitely a challenge. You definitely have to have some patience and very, very dark skies. As always, good luck at spotting Neptune, Ceres, and Pluto. A large telescope and dark skies will be needed. Meteor showers. We are in the midst of 2 meteor showers. One of them, the best meteor shower of the year for Northern Hemisphere observers. We got the Northern Delta Aquarids meteor shower, extends from July 16th through September 10th. Maximum occurs on August 13th. The hourly rates reach a high of 10. The Perseids meteor shower is generally visible between July 23rd and August 22nd. Maximum occurs during August 12th, 13th. Hourly rates typically reaches 80, although some years have been as low as 4 and as high as 200. The meteors tend to be very fast, possess an average magnitude of 2.3, and leave persistent trains. We'll talk about this a little bit in just a few minutes, I should say. So stick around for that. We do have a comet as well. We have comet 10P Temple, or Temple 2, is shining around 7th magnitude, passing through the constellations of Aquarius and Pisces Austrinus. Those are fairly low to the south in the later evening, early morning hours. Comet Temple 2 rises in the late evening and is best viewed around midnight. Temple 2 reaches perihelion on the 2nd, making it easy to observe through binoculars or a small telescope. Look for outbursts a week or two after perihelion. So now is the time to look for those outbursts, possibly, for this particular comet. We have a total solar eclipse occurring tomorrow, visible over Greenland, Iceland, and Spain. So you'll want to hop on the internet to see that for sure. So by the time you get up in the morning, you may want to flip on one of this. Just do a search for the net on the net and look for total eclipse. There'll probably be some broadcasting of that, especially on YouTube or NASA TV or several others as well. But that path covers over the eastern part of Greenland, across Iceland, through the Atlantic, and then kind of curves and goes over northern Spain and then into the Mediterranean. Parts as far south, Maine will see a partial eclipse. Some of the, even as far south as maybe the Outer Banks in North Carolina. If you drew a line from the Outer Banks of North Carolina to the northwestern tip of Washington State, if you're north of that particular line, you may see a partial eclipse. Very thin sliver of shadow. The further, obviously, the farthest south you go. We won't see anything here in Colorado. Parts north of that particular line, well, you'll see a larger portion of the sun covered for the U.S. and Canada, and Europe will see the same thing on the other side. So one reason we have total eclipses is because of what I talked about earlier with the moon being at perigee just yesterday. The perigee is closest, so the closer the moon is to the Earth, the more time the sun will remain in eclipse. And the further away, if it's closer to apogee, the less time that the sun will remain in eclipse. And if it's closest to apogee, you'll see what's called an annular eclipse, where the moon does not quite cover the sun. So tomorrow we have a total eclipse where the moon was pretty darn close to. It's only 2 days past perihelion, its closest approach. So we've got a fairly long eclipse. I can't remember what the timing was. I'll have to look that up myself. 4.5, 5 minutes of totality, so pretty good. That will be followed 2 weeks later by a partial lunar eclipse covering the U.S. and South America on the evening of the 28th. So look for that as well. So where the moon is passing through the Earth's shadow. So and we usually have a solar eclipse. 2 weeks later, we usually have a lunar eclipse. So there you go. And that is it for the local astronomical news. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, I'll go ahead and pause here. We had, let's see, I acknowledged David over on YouTube. We got Steven over on YouTube as well, KM6VAY, checked in tonight, so thanks for that. Those of you who are on YouTube, definitely post your call sign or name and location if you don't have a call sign over there. Would definitely appreciate getting you on the list and welcome you aboard on the Colorado Astronomy Net over on YouTube. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button over there as well. So do appreciate that. I'll go ahead and pause here to see if there are any more check-ins, and we'll get into the bulletins for this evening. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Okay, Ed, we got you checked in. W6RDZ, drive safe out there. I'll be able to give the rocket report if you're not able to. So everybody stick around for the rocket report as well. All right. Let's see. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Bulletins. We'll start off as usual with ISS passes. If you're interested in ISS passes over your local area, you may want to check out this particular website, www.heavens-above.com. That's www.heavens-above.com. I like this particular website because I can get a whole list of visible passes over my particular area. I do recommend that you sign up for and check into that site, enter in your home coordinates, and pull up whatever you want to look at. There's a whole bunch, not just ISS passes, but right now I've got ISS passes. I'm showing visible only, but it has passes for all of the passes over your particular area. If I click on the all button, I get a whole list of ISS passes over the Denver area. And right now, one reason I like this particular website is I can click on a particular date and show a nice large star chart of the particular ISS pass for that particular time and date. And I can go out there and I can see what stars it's passing through. And in this case, it looks like it's relatively close to the moon. At least it disappears very close to the moon as it's going over later at night. This is for July 26th and around 09:24 p.m. Fairly low, but it's not too bad, and not too bad a pass. It's a solid 5-6 minute pass overhead. So not a bad pass. Not a great pass, but not a bad pass, so to speak. But you can look at that, and then you can check out one of these things. You can print this out and take it outside with you. And yes, I do have an ISS tracker app on my phone, but I use this instead because those little apps will tell you where it's coming from, but it doesn't show you exactly where it is in the sky. Some of them might a little bit, but these old eyes like bigger screens, and an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper does the trick for sure. Or if you have a nice large iPad, same with, you can still do it with a star chart like this. It gives you a little bit better idea of what you're looking for, and where you're looking for these things. So again, www.heavens-above.com. That's it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Okay, we're talking Perseids, the Perseid meteor shower. This is actually from Earth's sky. And let's see, I'm just trying to get rid of some of the junk that, here we go. Here we go. Perseid meteor shower 2026. It's time to watch. In fact, this past week and well into next week as well is definitely time to watch for the Perseid meteor shower. I'd love to hear your stories when we go down the list of those of you who have seen the Perseid meteor shower in the past. And some of your experiences, maybe some of your earliest experiences as well. I'm just going to start off. I think my first experience was I was canoeing with my youth group when I was 15, 16 years old, and down the Shenandoah River in the Shenandoah Valley of Virginia, camping out and canoeing down the river, and we saw these meteors streaking through the skies. We had, about 4 or 5 nights of clear viewing of the meteor shower on that particular trip. We were on there for about a week, so it was fantastic, especially as a young youth, and definitely got me more interested in stargazing for sure. All right, Perseid's peak this week. This peak is predicted for 14:53 UTC on August 13th, 2026. So the mornings of August 12th and 13th are probably your best bets, but August 11th and August 14th might be good as well. Watch your weather and be aware that the Perseids tend to rise to a peak gradually, then fall off rapidly after their peak. When to watch? Watch in the hours before dawn. I'm going to put in a caveat to this. It says, do not watch in early evening. The radiant won't have risen yet. The caveat is, for me and personal experience, do watch for the Perseids in the early evening. The radiant may not be up, but you might see some skippers. Because you will see some of the meteors possibly skipping across the Earth's upper atmosphere. And you may not see a ton of meteors in the early or even late evenings, but you will see some. And that is definitely from experience over the many decades that I have been watching the Perseids. The radiant in the constellation Perseus rises in late evening and is highest at dawn, as seen from the northern hemisphere. That's why meteors are best before dawn. Also, an aside, that is the best time. It's like bugs on a windshield. Those meteors are hitting the front end of the windshield of the Earth. So that's why you see most of the meteors best before midnight and dawn. For the southern hemisphere, for many populated areas in the southern hemisphere, the radiant doesn't rise above the horizon unless you live at a latitude closer to Earth's equator than about 30 degrees south. The Perseids probably aren't a major shower for you, but you can still see the Delta Aquarids meteors flying in a dark sky. So either way, the nearest moon phase, the new moon falls at 1737 UTC on August 12th. So the peak mornings for the Perseids will be moon-free. Plus, those lucky enough to be observing August 12th total solar eclipse might catch a Perseid during totality. That would be crazily wonderful. The duration of shower, July 14th to September 1st. This time period is when we're passing through the meteor stream in space. But remember, the meteors tend to fall off rapidly after the peak mornings. Expected meteors at peak under ideal conditions. Under a dark sky with no moon, sky watchers frequently report 90 meteors per hour or more. The August Perseid meteor shower is rich and steady. The meteors are colorful and many are bright, and they frequently leave persistent trains. All of these factors make the Perseid shower a most beloved meteor shower for the northern hemisphere. A Perseid meteor shower radiant point. Around the peak mornings, if you trace all the Perseid meteor showers backward, they seem to come from the constellation Perseus, near the famous double cluster. Hence, the meteor shower is named in honor of the constellation Perseus, the hero. Of course, there's no real connection between the meteor shower radiant and the constellation Perseus. The stars in Perseus are many light years distant, while these meteors burn up about 60 miles or 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. The Perseid's parent comet. The parent comet responsible for the Perseid meteor shower is a rather large comet called 109P Swift-Tuttle. The comet orbits the Sun approximately every 133 years. Lewis Swift of Marathon, New York, visually discovered it on July 16, 1862, using a 11 centimeter or 4.3-inch refractor lens telescope. He did not report it immediately, believing that he was observing Comet Schmidt, which was found 2 weeks prior. Then, 3 days later, Horace Tuttle picked it up from Harvard Observatory. Scientists calculated that the comet would return in 120 years. That is, that we would see it again in 1982. So, 1982, comet came and went, and the comet didn't show. Oops. It was back to the drawing board, and this time the appearance of a comet observed in 1737 was considered a possible early appearance of the comet. Now the orbital period was more like 130 years. Brian Marsden published new orbital elements and the ephemeris as to where to find it for its 1992 return. In the 1980s, many of us visual comet hunters would, from time to time, cover the part of the sky where the incoming comet was supposed to appear. In 1991, outbursts of the Perseid meteors indicated that the comet was probably on its way back. Another meteor outburst in 92 seemed to confirm that. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net, continuing. On September 26, 1992, Tsuruhiko Kiyuchi, an amateur astronomer and comet hunter, picked up the comet in the evening sky just north of the bowl of the Big Dipper. Knowing where to look, I observed this comet 16 hours later and made a brightness estimate 5 times brighter than the original report. Others then confirmed this. Later, Gary Kronk suggested that the comets observed in 69 BCE and 188 CE were also appearances of this comet, a theory later confirmed. Do Perseid meteors ever hit the ground? Meteors that hit the ground intact are called meteorites, but few, if any, meteors in annual showers become meteorites. That's primarily because of the flimsy nature of cometary debris. Comets are made of ices. Most meteorites, on the other hand, are the remains of rocky or metallic asteroids. In ancient Greek star lore, Perseus is the son of the god Zeus and the mortal Danae. It was said that the Perseid shower commemorates the time when Zeus visited Danae, the mother of Perseus, in a shower of gold. So think of the ephemeral nature of meteors in meteor showers as you stand outside watching for Perseids in 2026. Most meteors strike Earth's atmosphere unseen. You can consider any Perseid meteor shower you do see in 2026 as there for your viewing pleasure. By the way, 2023 was a fantastic year for the Perseids. Enjoy this gallery of Perseid meteor. Okay, there's a bunch of Perseid meteor photos on this particular article as well. And let's see. Bottom line, the Perseid meteor shower peaks this week. It's best between midnight and dawn. The peak is August 12th and 13th before dawn, but watch around those mornings too. Let's see, and that is it for that bulletin. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. And those of you who are interested in meteor scatter communications, now's the time to get out there and see and listen in for some of that activity as well. Since this is a very prolific meteor shower. So get up in those early mornings hours and see if you can hear some of those pings on your radio. So interesting for us amateur radio operators as well. So check that out. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Doug, we got you on the list. K0ATP. Thanks for checking in tonight. Let's see. Oh, we got who we got? We got Gorilla Cannon out there. Still studying for my test and don't have a call yet. But I wanted to let you know I'm listening in from Parker on the handheld. Uh, uh, Given me by a mentor. So cool there, Gorilla Cannon. Yeah, definitely post your first name. And well, I got you Parker, so there you go. I'll put that in the notes here tonight, so I'll get you checked in properly. I'll mark that down right now. Marcus, thanks for that. Appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing you on the air from Parker for sure. So appreciate that. And welcome to the Colorado's. Yeah, okay, there we go. Sorry about that. I wasn't on the air. Marcus and Parker, Gorilla Cannon over there on YouTube. Thanks for checking in tonight. And Marcus, if you could post your interest and background in astronomy, I'll pass that along to the rest of the crew for tonight as well. And we got John, KF0ESH. Well, let's see. Yeah, we've checked in before, so thanks for that, John. I appreciate it. And so I do appreciate you guys checking in over on YouTube. Definitely be sure to hit that thumbs up button there for sure. Let's see, what else do I got for you this evening? I'm going to pass it over to John, W2JLS, for this evening's astronomy history lesson. We just added the history lesson bit just several weeks ago, and it seems to be a hit with the rest of the fellow check-in. So John, W2JLS, what history trivia do you have for us tonight? Go ahead. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
Astronomy and space history. We will entertain how the long echo of one good question is the title tonight. The long echo of one good question. Also, I'll pay a special hello to those connected on the Whiskey Kilo Yankee repeater in Doylestown, Ohio, which is connected tonight through the Sky Hub link system in Denver, Colorado. Thank you, President Nick. So let's open this up tonight begin with a very simple question. In 1960, NASA wanted to relay a human voice across the continent by sending a signal into space. We suspect engineers would need to place in orbit to make that possible. Consider, they're at the very beginning of these types of communications and they're trying to understand things. So you start slow, right? A satellite carrying a powerful transmitter, perhaps, an electronic repeater, an orbiting amplifier, a combination of some of these things? The answer is actually none of those things. In fact, they used a balloon. The balloon was not a small one. Fully deployed, the balloon in question was a satellite called Echo 1A, which measured 100 feet across. That's slightly longer than a regulation basketball court, if you're doing the math. And the thing weighed only about 130 pounds. Its skin was made of aluminized mylar. So, going back 66 years ago, tomorrow night, August 12, 1960, Echo 1A was launched from Cape Canaveral aboard a three-stage Thor Delta rocket. I suspect I know some of you are probably thinking, like, how do you launch a balloon bigger than a basketball court into orbit on board a rocket? Well, it was folded tightly inside a canister. Once in orbit, they had some chemistry going on. They had inside the balloon, they had benzoic acid and anthraquinone, which, when warmed by the sunlight, these two compounds sublime and generate a vapor, which fills the balloon. Gently inflating Echo into this brilliant silver sphere. The aluminized mylar kind of mirror surface. You have this giant sphere, the size of a basketball court, up there, could be seen visible to the unaided eye. For its communications role, Echo needed no receiver, no amplifier, no repeater. Its entire assignment could be stated in 3 words: reflect radio waves. Before onboard amplifiers and repeaters became the standard, engineers, asked, what would happen? We just use this radio mirrored ball in space. Basically, the concept was something like this: a ground station could aim a microwave signal at the mirror. The signal would strike the satellite's metallic surface and scatter it back to Earth, where a suitably positioned receiving station could capture some portion of it. Echo 1 did not receive a message as modern communication satellites do. It decoded nothing, it amplified nothing, it simply reflected radio energy back. So most of us listening tonight as radio operators were familiar with the concept. The sounds probably very familiar to some of you. Echo was related in spirit to moon bounce. But instead of using a moon as a natural reflector, NASA placed this shiny sphere balloon into orbit, which was going to serve the purpose. So, for those on shortwave or listening in on YouTube, EME or Earth-Moon-Earth communication does exactly what it suggests. Operators aim a radio signal toward the moon, and we can listen for its faint reflection coming back, which takes about 2.5 seconds. Applied roughly the same idea using artificial reflector much closer to Earth, but passive reflection carries a price. The signal, spreads out on its way up, and only a tiny fraction is reflected in a useful direction, and that fraction spreads again on its way back down. So the engineers had to overcome these 2 enormous distance penalties. We did have some pretty sophisticated technology for the time that was coming online. At what was then called the Goldstone Tracking Station, today you may know it as the Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex, operated antennas 85 feet in diameter in California's Mojave Desert out near Barstow. The uplink operated about 2.39 gigahertz, essentially the same part of the microwave spectrum we associate today with 2.4 gig Wi-Fi. Across the continent, on the other side of the United States, a horn antenna at Bell Laboratories at Holmesville, New Jersey, waited to detect the faint signal as it was reflected off of the satellite. Imagine you're hitting a silver balloon in the sky with a flashlight from California and asking someone in New Jersey to detect a tiny glimmer scattered down there in that direction. That's essentially what NASA engineers were attempting back tomorrow, 1960. And guess what? It worked. On the transmission, you had a pre-recorded message from then President Dwight Eisenhower, transmitted from the California station, reflecting from Echo 1A, and was received clearly in the horn at New Jersey. The President's voice crossed the continent by traveling into space, hitting the balloon, and returning back to Earth. Now, you gotta please pardon the irresistible historical tangent here. sky. Standard cosmology interprets that this is a relic of radiation from an early hot, dense phase of the universe, and regards it as one of the strongest lines of evidence that the Big Bang model is correct. Their study earned them the 1978 Nobel Prize in Physics. So that said, the antenna is built to recover the human voice and study, our ability to communicate from sound. Is here. Here, the thing is detecting a cosmic whisper spread across the sky, and maybe by a very indirect chain of events. That same discovery, perhaps, even helped give us Sheldon Cooper in one of television's most successful sitcoms, The Big Bang Theory. Now, again, forgive me for that. Returning back to the ECHO satellite itself, although ECHO carried no light, its enormous reflective surface caught sunlight so effectively that people on the ground around the world could watch it as it came across the night sky with the unaided eye. For many, it was among the first human-made objects they could, simply step outside and see passing overhead. That visibility mattered. 3 years earlier, recall in 1957, Sputnik mission had announced the beginning of the space age with a radio signal that people could hear. But here you are in 1960 with ECHO. The United States answered with an object that people could see, and with the right equipment to even speak through. ECHO 1 was kind of a proof of concept on a practical global telephone or communication system. It's a simple passive reflection, but this is a lot of signal. The future, obviously, we live in now, ultimately belongs to satellites equipped with receivers, amps, transmitters, very high capacity digital systems. But this tiny little sphere in the star of this show proved that geometry could be made to work. So it kind of was the prototype leading the way. It helped establish techniques for satellite tracking, microwave communication. Its enormous size and very low mass also made it scientifically otherwise useful. By using this, watching the orbit change, researchers learn more about the thin upper atmosphere and the pressure exerted by sunlight itself. ECHO even contributed later to thinking about extremely lightweight structures and solar sails. And there's just one final legacy here to unpack. The great antennas at Goldstone later became part of NASA's deep space network, the system that eventually would be used to communicate with spacecraft on the moon and future missions, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, probes that have been launched, and beyond, things that have left the solar system, Voyager, etc. If you wonder how that's done, that's taking place out at Goldstone. Equipment that had once listened for a faint echo from a balloon, became part of humanity's communications network to the planets through time. 1A remained in orbit until May 24th, 1968, when some of us were just a couple of months old, when it re-entered the Earth's atmosphere off the coast of Chile and burned up. By then, the satellite communications had already moved far beyond what it was capable of. In its communications role, ECHO 1 offered no interpretation, no amplification, no argument. Simply returned a weak signal faithfully. So the question, could Project ECHO transmit a radio signal back to Earth? The answer was yes, of course, but it also proved only to be the beginning. In pursuing this, obviously, we improved satellite tracking of microwave communication, learned more about the upper atmosphere, and developed these systems that were later useful in much larger, and not the least of which was the Bell Labs horn discovering the cosmic whisper. So some of this stuff was planned, but a lot of it was not. So it's kind of a neat lesson in science and with many of these launches that W6RDZ, Rocket Man Ed, covers each week in the Rocket Report, we continue the same pursuit, answering today's questions while quietly building the instruments and knowledge that may be used in more useful context to answer tomorrow's needs. Echo 1A disappeared in 68, but the question and answers never stopped reverberating. And that is the long echo of one good question. And with that, this concludes this week's focus on the history of space and astronomy for the Colorado Astronomy Net. This is Whiskey 2, Juliet, Lima, Sierra, John in Fairlawn, Ohio, wishing everyone clear skies and a very good evening on your ears. Back to Burnus, KI0AR, Mission Control.
Okay, thanks for that, John. Yeah, yeah, the moon bounce, meteor scatter, all different, difficult signals to receive for sure. And then should be an interesting week, and I appreciate you sharing that little history with us as well, bouncing signals off the moon. And for those of you who have done EME, can definitely share with us too, and what fun you have trying to hear those signals. Quick call. Let's see. Ed was out there mobile. I know he changed his hours, but I will give him a call and see if he's at home and might be able to do the rocket report for us tonight. If not, I'll be happy to do that as well. W6RDZ, this is KI0AR. Ed, are you able to give the rocket report this evening? Go ahead.
This is W6RDZ, your rocket man. I'm ready to rocket and roll the rocket report tonight. Yeah, ready to do it.
Okay, Ed, you're sounding solid copy, so definitely fire away. W6RDZ, this is KI0AR, net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
You call for check-ins, KSFTV, Mark over in Ohio. Time for the history lesson on Echo 1. I have very fond memories when I was about 8 years old of my dad working to exactly time the passes overhead so those nerds in Silicon Valley and Hewlett Packard could calculate the infomers of the orbit. But I'll tell you more about that when it's my turn at roundtable. Right now, let's have a look at our rocket launches. Yes, we're going to go back to last Tuesday during the net at 2038 Mountain Daylight Time. China rockets successfully launched the OSD HS-01 and 02 megawas on a Geelong 3 rocket from the Haiyuan offshore launch site in the China Sea, and those went to sun-synchronous orbit. The payload was a hot pair of hyperspectral Earth observation satellite by Chinese company Star.Vision. It was the fourth Geelong 3 launch of the year. That brings us to probably the most, no, not yet. Wait a minute. Nope, this is right. Okay. Second one on Wednesday the 5th. SpaceX reliably launched 11 to 13. Check this out. for that. I'm a little discombobulated here. Okay, Wednesday, August 5th, SpaceX reliably launched Blooper 11 to 13 on a Falcon 9, departing Flight 40 Cape Canaveral at 01:49 Mountain Daylight Time. This launch took 3 next-generation Bluebird satellite cell phone communication satellites LEO for ATN Space Mobile. It was the 185th worldwide orbital launch attempt of the year, and the 670th successful Falcon 9 launch and the 30th flight of booster B-1077. All right. Let's see. The Bluebird antenna spans approximately 2,400 square feet, making it one of the largest commercial phased array antennas ever deployed in low Earth orbit. All right. That will then bring us to the 4th launch on August 8th at 10:36 Mountain Daylight Time. SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 17-38 from Slick 4E from a complete fog Spaceport Base, California. In addition to the thick fog obscuring the launch, we set our repeater there. W6RDZ back with the rocket report. Yeah, that was a foggy launch in addition to the thick fog obscuring the launch. The booster camera failed at liftoff, making the live stream of the ascent quite dull. It was booster 1093-16 launch and recovery and SpaceX's 705th mission. All right. Now the big one, yesterday morning, Monday, August 10th at 06:02, China Aerospace and Science Corporation, CASI, suffered a spectacular fail of the ChinaSat 4B mission atop a Long March 7A rocket launching from Wenchang Space Launch Site in China. The countdown and launch went smoothly until 80 seconds into the flight when the rocket exploded into a spectacular fireball. Or perhaps 3 of them. A structural failure at the front of the rocket at the stage 2 to stage 3 interstage. It just folded over. The failure occurred right about max Q, the time of maximum aerodynamic loading, and about the time when the rocket goes supersonic. The front of the rocket just folds over and sequentially explodes. Check out the great video and analysis by Scott Manley at the link in the written report. All right, I'm going to reset our repeater there. W6RDZ back with the rocket report for the Colorado Astronomy Net. All right, Monday, yesterday, August 10th, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries successfully launched the BG-7 mission on an H-3-22S rocket from pad LAY-2 at the Tanegashima Space Center in Japan. The payload is another quasi-Xena satellite system, Japanese satellite navigation system operating from inclined, highly elliptical geosynchronous orbit. And today, at 8:58 Mountain Daylight Time, SpaceX successfully launched Starlink Group 10-19 from Cape Canaveral, Florida. That brings us to next week's launches. We've got 5 on the docket this coming week. RDZ, here back with the rocket report. All right, second launch, Saturday, August 15th at 15:40, 15:52 Mountain Daylight Time. SpaceX intends to launch the USSF 366 mission on a Falcon 9 rocket launching from Slick 4E Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. The United States Space Force -366 is a classified mission for the U.S. Space Force, possibly another batch of SpaceX Starshield military communication satellites. Also on Saturday, August 15th at 9:12 Mountain Daylight Time, look for SpaceX to launch the Global Star Q-R mission on a Falcon 9 to Slickport, Cape Canaveral, Florida. Then on Sunday, August 16th, China Aerospace Science Corporation plans to launch an undisclosed payload on a Long March 12 rocket departing Wenchang. And finally, on Tuesday, August 18th at 2000 Mountain Daylight Time, expect SpaceX to launch Starlink 17-50 from Slick 4E Vandenberg Space Force Base, California. All right, we'll take a reset on our repeaters before the space news. This is W6RDZ, back with the Colorado Astronomy Net's rocket report. Space news this week is pretty much updates to the stories last week. First one being a lunar impact by a spent Falcon 9 upper stage proved more elusive than was hoped. Amateur astronomers did not report witnessing the impact, and even week past the event, we don't have any impressive photographs being published by the astronomers manning the big telescopes. What we did get were two data points. The European Southern Observatory, using the Very Large Telescope in Chile, were able to capture spectral lines of sodium and lithium in the dust plume of the impact. And then the Andalusian Institute of Astrophysics in Spain, they were able to produce a very grainy video of dust kicked up by the impact. The South Korean Denari spacecraft from lunar orbit provided the first picture of the Nishi crater. We're still waiting for a better resolution of the crater from NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. And there's a great history by Scott Manley of smashing stuff into the moon, if you're interested in that history. All right, second news item is Starship 40 recovery seems to be going badly. The ship is still floating in the Ocean Ocean and is being towed slowly to Australia. And according to Evan, we will reset our repeaters. This is W6RDZ back with the rocket report. We were talking about Starship 40 recovery. Elon posted that the recovery is, quote, not looking good, end quote. Booster 40, after gently landing in the Indian Ocean, is still in tow to Australia. I hope they make it. All right, that brings us to Blue Origin. This is a news story. Their new Glenn blew up on the pad, I think about 2 months ago, you may remember. They were just tanking it up and getting it ready for a test fire. They didn't start the test fire, and it blew to high heaven. Big fireball. They have now traced back, finally, the root cause failure of the New Glenn rocket to a GE4 engine valve malfunction. I don't have big details, but there's a couple of links if you want to learn more about it there in the online report. And our last news item is the SWIFT mission. The mission to save the SWIFT Gamma Ray Telescope. That one is still in SWIFT Booth's mission is still in trouble, but mission controllers are making good progress. Slow. The spacecraft's rotation with the coupled ion thrusters. The spin has now slowed from 9 degrees to a second down to just 1.27 degrees per second. So using ion thrusters to attitude control is a slow deal, but they're making progress. Hey, I'm going to reset the repeater last time. All right, this is W6RDZ closing tonight's rocket report. This is the Rocket Man wishing you a good night and nominal flight. Now back to Starman Burgess, KI0AIAR, Capcom Mission Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net.
Okay, thanks for that. Ed, appreciate you doing the rocket report for this evening. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Go ahead and acknowledge Mark checked in, KC8FQV. Thanks for checking in tonight, Mark. Right now, go ahead and see if there are any other check-ins. I don't see anybody else over on YouTube. Anyone else wishing to check into tonight's Colorado Astronomy Net, please call with your call sign phonetically twice.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Whiskey Sierra Whiskey. Kilo Foxtrot 0, Whiskey Sierra Whiskey. Kilo Bravo 4, Sierra Whiskey Papa. Kilo Bravo 4, Sierra Whiskey Papa.
Okay, good evening to you, Thomas. KF0WSW. Welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. That's a new call on the list, I do believe. At least it's popping up that way. So welcome to the net. Again, my name is Bernus. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra, and the call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. Can get back with you in just a sec. Bruce, we got you on the list. KB4SWP, thanks for checking in tonight. Thomas in Nebraska, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'd like to touch base with my first time check-ins. Find out what your interest background is in astronomy. Whether you're just starting out, you've been doing it for decades. I've been doing this net for 30 years now. And I always like to touch base with the first timers and learn a little bit about you. This is a learning net, and you've caught the tail end where I'm getting into the question and answer. Hopefully you've been listening in. If not, I'm just going to let you go first tonight with telling us a little bit about your background interest in astronomy. If you've got any questions or anything you'd like to pass along to the net, I'll let you do that too. Go ahead, Thomas. Welcome to the net. What have you got for us tonight?
astronomy space missions without the telescope and watching some of the stars that we have around here and some of the I don't have a lot of interest into it. It's just starting out. Um, so we live up here in the kind of the dark area with very little light, and so it's always nice to look out to see the stars. And when I first moved up here to Lemoyne, one of the things we noticed was just a massive amount of stars that are visible up here. It's just a beautiful area. I spent 21 years in the military and the Air Force, also in looking at things around the world as far as different experiences and things of that nature. Originally from Florida, moved to Denver back in 1992, and then came up here to Lemoyne and fell in love with it.
All right, Thomas, very cool. Yeah, I'm in Denver area, just south in Littleton, Highlands Ranch area. And the skies are way too bright for my liking, so I'm definitely jealous of those of you who are living in dark sky areas, for sure. But definitely get out in the next couple of nights and look for the Perseid meteors streaking through the skies. For sure, one of the best meteor showers of the year, and relatively warm for that matter. So it peaks. What is today? Today's 11th. Tomorrow morning, Thursday morning as well. So a long peak for this particular meteor shower. You may even see some of them this evening as well if it's clear. Get out there and enjoy, and welcome to the net. And hopefully you'll come back next week with some observation reports. And that's what I'd like to hear, if anybody has seen any meteors yet from the Perseids. Again, Tom, appreciate you checking in tonight, and appreciate and welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. Appreciate your comments as well. And we may call on you again, especially if you got any questions. So hopefully you can stick around. I'll probably be here for another half hour or so. Now's the time for everyone else to contribute to the net. Questions, comments, observation reports, anything you'd like to pass along to the net, now's the time to do it. For those of you who are over on YouTube, same thing. If you've got any questions or comments, I'll pass them along to the net as well. First on the list tonight is Paul in Utah, WA7GVL. Good evening to you, Paul. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, I'm thankful for the reports about the Perseids. I planned on watching them tomorrow, and the next night are supposed to be the peaks, and the best viewing time in Utah is 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. According to, I think it was Meteor Society that was reporting that. I can't, it was either Earth Sky or Meteor Society. And so I will be up through a good part of the night and early morning hours watching for it. It's one of my favorite meteor showers to watch for. And I'm also grateful to Ed for his report on the moon strike. I didn't know that anybody had caught anything. I stayed up and was watching some live streams, and it was a bust. So I'm glad to hear that somebody got something and was willing to share anyway. And I hope in the future some more comes out. But yep, stay up. Watch those meteor showers. According to what I read, it's in the north sky about halfway up. So that's what I'll be doing tonight and early in the morning. WA7GVL.
All right, Paul. Yeah, good. Good luck with that. I may do the same as well. We'll see how I do. I have a procedure on Thursday morning, but since I don't have to actually get up tomorrow, may stay up a little bit later tonight and check that out, especially if the skies are clear. We'll see how that does. Okay. All right. Um, let's see. Let's see what Twizzer90. All right. Welcome to the net over there on YouTube. If you could post your first name and location, I'll get you added to the list, but appreciate that. And check on the comment in a bit. Paul, thanks for your comments and good luck with observing. Stay warm. It may be warm, but lying out there underneath the evening sky does tend to get a little chilly sometimes. So stay warm, and enjoy the evening for sure. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Jack in Wheat Ridge, KE0VH. Good evening to you, Jack. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, hey, Bruce. Good evening. Good evening to everybody monitoring the Colorado Astronomy Net here on Sky Uplink, celebrating many, many nets that Burness has done. And I'm glad to have the Colorado Astronomy Net here. Burness, I appreciate the plug a little bit earlier for my live stream tomorrow night. We're going to be doing a flight from Dallas or from Denver to Dallas, and I'm kind of running a flight right now from St. Louis to Denver in the sim. Nothing really astronomical tonight as far as I'm concerned, but would like to invite everybody to check out skyhublink.com. Be sure to see all the things that we have going on, all the repeaters, wherever they may be. Remember, we welcome you to Skyhub Link. Please feel free to use the system, get on and chat with people. We are basically all modes: analog, wires X, DMR, Echolink is here, and it's quite a system, and we thank you for being a part of it. If you're not on our email list, please do go to the website and sign up for our email. We don't bombard you with emails, but we do let you know some things that's going on system-wide. Ernest, we've got a couple of projects going on that we're trying to get set up for, and with that, I will turn it back over to you and say good evening to everybody. My airplane from St. Louis to Denver just hit top of the set. It's a 737-800. In the Southwest Colorado 1 livery, so we'll be flying that one tomorrow night, celebrating some family members going to Dallas to see the BTS concert on Saturday night. So we're going to be doing that flight for them tomorrow night here on my live stream. Bruce, back over to you. Have a good night, everybody. 7:30. God bless you, and we'll catch you a little further down the log. This is KE0VH in Wheat Ridge.
All right, Jack. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Might be interesting to see if you can see any. I don't know if the flight sim simulates meteor showers in that thing, but it would be interesting to to see if it does. Uh, even early in the evening, you might see a few. So it would be interesting to see if that happens. Don't know. It does the stars. I wonder if it does meteor showers too. That might be a little bit too much, but you never know. But again, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Randall up in Washington. AE7RJ. Good evening to you, Randall. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening. As Ernest said, I'm up here in Spokane, Washington.
And as you may have heard, we've got some fires going on. So for about the last week, we have no sun, we have no moon, we have no stars. All we have is smoke. So I don't really got much for the net. We might get a little bit of a break tonight, because right now, if you look straight up, you can see blue sky. So once the sun goes down and it gets dark, we may be able to see something. But I won't know for a while. Y'all have a good evening. AE7RJ.
All right, Randall. Yeah, stay safe. Breathe easy. Definitely, we get some of that smoke down here in Colorado, and yeah, my throat is feeling that. But yeah, definitely stay safe up there, and yeah, hopefully it'll clear out, and hopefully those fires will die down, and you can see the skies again. And we get some orange mornings here. It looks like sunrise on Mars or sunset on Mars with sometimes with all the smoke that has been in the air. But appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Moy had to check out N5ZIQ, but always appreciate him checking in from Texas. So John in Ohio, W2JLS. Good evening to you, John. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
KI0AR. Hello, sir. Hello to you. Relative to the Perseids, which was your primary topic today, I look up our circumstances here in Farallon. As you mentioned, we have, you know, without, a relatively new moon and, dark skies that maybe we're set up for good. However, the astronomical circumstances may be near perfect, but the weather is probably going to be troublesome in Northeast Ohio. National Weather Service is currently predicting thunderstorms early Wednesday night and then mostly cloudy skies, so I don't like my chances. As for historically speaking, I did see a couple of decent Perseid events in the past. This is decades ago at this point, the late 90s, when I was in Charleston, South Carolina. I had a couple of pretty good years. When I went back researching it, it was probably 1997 and 1999 were particularly good years in viewing in Charleston. Dozens of, like, the Venus hourly rate was, I want to say, greater than 80 during those years. I caught at least part of some of that. So it's a fun one. The meteors tend to be shooting fast and furious, is my recollection. But yeah, so I thought my best event was not the Perseids, it was the Orionids, and that was also from Charleston, South Carolina. And it may have been thousands. The Venus hourly rate was insane. And I was at the beach, and I could hear audibles crackling at the skyline. But that's a different shower for sure. Anyway, keep it. I know you've got a really long list in there. Good luck to those of you that aren't sitting with poor weather to observe tomorrow night. Anyway, Ernest, back to you, W2JLS.
All right, John. Yeah, anytime. Shoot, now, last week through next week, they do taper off fairly quickly, but you'd be surprised. It is a gradual meteor shower. It doesn't have a sharp peak. It does have a peak, but there are quite a few Perseids spread out along that particular trail of comet dust. So tonight, tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, meteor scatter work tomorrow during the day if you want. Lots of opportunity to either hear or see the meteor activity for sure this year. Get out Thursday morning, Friday morning, this weekend if you can. You won't see the peak of 60 or 80, but you'll see quite a few. You may see 20 or 30, which is actually not bad for after peak. Even this weekend. So hope for dark skies, and from personal experience as well, you'd be surprised how many thunderstorms I've been through in the early evening of the peak of the Perseids, and then gotten up in the middle of the night at 2 a.m., 2 to 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and absolutely beautiful, crystal clear skies, and just watching hundreds of those Perseids streak through in the course of the rest of the night. So don't let the thunderstorms deter you from going out a little bit later to see if you've got clear skies. Just from experience, and you'd be surprised and hopefully delighted that you might be able to see at least a few. All right, John, appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Ken in Nevada, NV7SS. Good evening to you, Ken. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Scott in Tennessee, KY4NB. Good evening to you, Scott. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, I noticed everybody on the Colorado Astronomy Net. Well, sure wish I was in Colorado. Anyway, Memphis is too many lights around here. I took the dog out earlier at 12 p.m. and, I'm pretty sure that was Venus, I could see. But anyway, yeah, too many of the street lights and stuff here. But I would like to see those Perseids, the meteor shower, that's for sure. Anyway, I've enjoyed listening tonight, and we did appreciate it, and getting the information out there to people. Definitely the watching the skies, that's something else. And I'll be enjoying hearing what everybody reports tonight there, Ernest, and I hope the procedure Thursday goes well for you. I'll be thinking of you on that. I know that'll go fine, and be back on the radio shortly after that procedure. So best luck on that, and a good recovery. And I'll turn back to you and let you get on to the list, Vernon. We appreciate everything again. KY4NB, back to that.
All right, Scott. Yeah, hopefully everything will go right. You'd be surprised. It's very, very bright south here where I live. I'm still going to go out, unfortunately. The brightest stars, or the dimmest stars I can see, are about 4th magnitude. So just because of all of the extraneous street lights and house lights and city lights that are reflected off of all of the nastiness in the sky now. But I do expect to see some of the brighter. I'm not going to see 60 or 80 meteors per hour here where I'm at. But I'm hoping to see at least 10 or 20 of them, maybe, even in from the backyard in the little space of clear skies that I got above the house. So you'd be surprised. Just get out there, and these are actually fairly bright, and there'll be enough of them that you'll have a chance to at least see a few of them. at least under relatively clear skies. So good luck with that, and I appreciate your comments, appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Roy in Oregon. KI7PKL, good evening to you, Roy. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Well, good evening, Bruce, and everybody on the net. Hey, we're actually finally been able to do some imaging. Oh, that was some good weather, and just everything is working out. In spite of the fact that there's so many things that can go wrong, sometimes I feel like my name might be Astro Gilligan, but in spite of that, I managed to get some data on my current target since these new 585 sensors have come out. I have wanted one of those, and I finally bought one. And so it's a monochrome camera, and I connected it up to my filter wheel. Had all sorts of issues with image train and back focus and stuff. We won't go into the first couple of nights, but anyway, managed to get some data on the Cocoon Nebula. AI, and actually AI for a Mission Nebula visible during the evening during August, and not bigger than 30 minutes of arc in size. And there was one object on the list I hadn't imaged yet. This was it. So, anyhow, I'm almost done processing it. I was hoping to do some more tonight, but looks like it's going to be thin clouds. So I don't know. This might be wrapping up here. Anyway, having a little bit of fun with my new camera. Back to you, KSF. Again.
All right, Roy, appreciate you sharing that with us, and good luck with the camera. Looking forward to seeing more pics from you for sure, and posting them to the newsletter. So I do appreciate you being my source of astrophotography images for sure. All right, Roy, appreciate your comments, appreciate you checking in tonight. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Next on the list is Jerry in Pennsylvania, AB3HO. Good evening to you, Jerry. What have you got for the net tonight? Again, welcome to the net. What have you got? Go ahead. Okay, next on the list is Patrick in Tennessee, K9NOC. Good evening to you, Patrick. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Next on the list is Rick in Ohio, KC8LYG. Good evening to you, Rick. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone listening. This is DCLIG. I don't have much of that. You said yourself this is a learning net, and I tell you what, I've been learning a lot this evening. I've enjoyed listening to everyone, and I'm just trying to absorb it all. But like I said, not much to add. Back to Net Control, doing a great job, guys. DCLIG clear.
All right, Rick, appreciate that. Thanks for sticking around as well. I know it's late. I know it's late there, and I do appreciate you sticking around. And again, welcome to the net. Yeah, definitely a learning net. Sometimes it's like drinking from a fire hose, but that's one reason I have the question and answer period here, so that if I happen to raise some questions in your mind, you're more than welcome to answer them. Maybe I should have Stump the Astronomer night or something like that with all the questions that I could get asked. Uh, uh, but I'll try my best to answer them, and if I can't answer, I'm sure there's someone on here that probably can, one way or another. But again, welcome to the net. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list is Dave up in Evergreen, AF0AS. Good evening to you, Dave. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Hello, Ernest. I've got a couple things. First is an update to Rocketman's report. Catalyst Space reported that they were able to uplink a new flight software package to their Link space tug and are preparing to resume operations with it step by step and hopefully be able to go rescue Swift as soon as possible. Swift is going into a safe attitude to try to delay robo decay, and we should see more about that in the coming days and weeks. Second thing, coming up in about 2 weeks on August 30th, out of Cape Canaveral, if anybody has their chance to get down there, the Nancy Grace Roman telescope will be launching on a Falcon Heavy. It will be a double return to launch site. Launch at about 5:45 a.m. Local time here in Colorado. And the third one is not directly space related, but there was a note in a SpaceX presentation to their employees that they now have 13 million consumer subscribers in addition to 22 million monthly mobile users. I guess they're making some money on that. And with that, that's all I've got. AF0AS clear.
All right, Dave. Appreciate it. At least I've got 22 people here on the net tonight. A few of them over on YouTube, and a few subscribers to my newsletter and stuff like that. But maybe I just don't have that kind of money to do all of that. But I'm having fun anyway, so that's for sure. But appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. Next on the list over on YouTube, N3NTV, David in South Dakota. Appreciate you checking in tonight. If you got any questions, comments, post them over there. Stephen, I think down in Colorado Springs, I do believe. KM6VAY. I know you check in over YouTube, but sometimes you're on the air too. KM6VAY, what have you got for us tonight, Stephen? Go ahead. Okay, well, we appreciate him checking in over on YouTube there. Next on the list, Ed, W6RDZ. Good evening to you, Ed. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Yeah, just a couple of things. Big thanks there to Dave, I think KF0KF, for the Swift boost mission update. So good to hear they got that updated for it. I did not hear the news when I searched for it yesterday, so thanks a bunch. Also for the reminder of the Nancy Grace Roman telescope launch. I think that's on August 28th, if I recall. But yeah, everything's going well on both of those missions. So thank you, Dave. Just wanted to mention John's Echo Link really touched base with me. That was an important part of my young childhood. I had the privilege of being born in Nerd Central in Los Altos, California, there in the Bay Area, back in '58. And by the mid-'60s, I was probably 8 years old. And Dad was an engineer for Hewlett Packard, and that was a wonderful group of power nerds. And probably involve Barney Oliver, of measuring exactly the position and length of orbit time of the Echo 1 and 2 satellites. So they could precisely calculate exactly when it would come over again. Dad would set up in the front yard there at night. Garage door would be open. There'd be the HF radio listening to the beep, and then it would switch over to WWP, so they'd have a precise time reference. Repeater there. So Dad would set up there with a time reference in the background, a synchronized stopwatch, and he'd look through a theodolite, that's a surveying instrument, at a specific place in the sky, which had been predicted by the orbit, and he would exactly time when the satellite crossed over the reticle, and then they'd all get their numbers together and run the calculations and see how close they could catch the next pass. All right, that's everything I've got. W6RDZ, back to net.
All right, Ed, thanks for that. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight for sure. This is KI0AR Net Control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. Do appreciate everybody else sticking around tonight, running a little long, and those of you who are on YouTube as well, thanks for that. Do appreciate you listening in. And let's see, Jeremiah, I'm just going to go ahead and pass that along. Twizzler90, your wife has no interest in radio. Well, that's all right, like you do, but she does enjoy listening to the net. So that's cool. Definitely appreciate both of you checking in and listening in tonight. Yeah, I've only been doing this for about a year, a little over a year on YouTube, and doing the net, of course, for quite a few. So I do appreciate you listening in, and hopefully you guys will get out there and see some of the Perseids this weekend, or for now until next net for sure. So thanks for that. I'll go ahead and acknowledge KN0EL Mark checked in via NetLogger, so hopefully you're on there listening in. It's a new call, Mark. I'm going to get back with you in just a sec, so please stick around. I want to give you an official welcome. But we only got a few left. We're getting close to the end. Next on the list is Doug and Parker, K0ATP. Good evening to you, Doug. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
Good evening to the net. I mean, lots of things here to talk about. I mean, I could talk all day long, but a lot of new listeners checking on the net. But I want to shout out to both John, W2JLS, for his space history story time, and for Ed, W6RDC, for his rocket report. You know, what brings me back to the Colorado Astronomy Net is all these really special events and all the new people and all the old people. There's too much to talk about tonight, but I'd like to thank you for letting me check in tonight. I was mobile until about, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes ago, and I checked in the shacks. Let me check in, so I'll pass back to control. KI0NR, this is K0ATP73, everyone.
All right, Doug, great to hear you for sure. Glad you could check in as well. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight. We got Marcus over on YouTube. That's Gorilla Cannon. Like I said, some cool names over there. So appreciate that. Appreciate you checking in over YouTube and being around to listen tonight. Next on the list, KF0ESH, John in Wellington. Let's see, Marcus over in Parker. We got John over in Wellington. Also, John over on YouTube. Bucksnort 2216. Love it. Yeah, if you guys got any comments or questions, yeah, post them over there. Appreciate that. Next on the list is Mark up in Ohio, KC8FQV. Good evening to you, Mark. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, John, just got your comment. Yeah, thanks for that. I just got checked outside, can see through the smoke, but not through the clouds. Yeah, luckily no ghosts or aliens tonight. And P.S. You heard John Glenn's heartbeat in '62. I probably heard that too, but I was 5. So, but I do remember some of those launches way back when. That's probably what got me interested in space. You know, the original Mercury astronauts, Gemini and Apollo, grew up watching most of those launches. So there you go. Appreciate your comments over there on YouTube, John. Thanks for that. And Jeremiah, thanks for your comments over there too. Next on the list is Thomas in, let's see, in Nebraska, KF0WSW. Good evening to you, Thomas. Again, welcome to the Colorado Astronomy Net. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead.
Well, thank you. This is Tom at KF0WSW out in Boyd, Nebraska. And one of the things I'm pretty nice to listen to this, thinking it was astronomy and there's an awful lot about the space that's on here. And one of the things I'd like to let you guys know is that I grew up in Merritt Island, Florida, and through Facebook. And that means a lot of space, a lot of very out there. So a lot of different experiences I've had during that era. So it sounds very interesting, and I'm happy to want to learn quite a bit more. Back to you, KF0WSW.
Okay, Tom. Yeah, the signal was a little bit choppy. I don't know if there was a question in there or not, but hopefully you will stick around and learn a lot more. I caught that part. Yeah, we talk about all kinds of stuff, space related, astronomy related, with the launches and some of the history and what have you. But I do definitely appreciate you checking in tonight. And again, welcome to the net. I'll pass it back to you just in case there was a question in there, and see if we get a little bit better signal. Go ahead.
No questions tonight. Probably next week or a couple weeks from now, I might have one. So back to you.
All right, Tom. Again, welcome to the net, and appreciate you checking in tonight. And appreciate your comments. Oh, let's see. Next on the list is Bruce down in Florida. KB4SWP. Good evening to you, Bruce. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead. Okay, and Jeremiah over on YouTube, Twizzler90, I do appreciate your comments over there as well. And thanks to you and your wife for checking in tonight and listening in. I do appreciate that. I'll put down a +1 over there in my notes there. All right, next on the list, Mark. Up in Pine, KN0EL. That's a new call on the list. Got you over there on NetLogger, so appreciate you checking in that way. Again, my name is Bernice. That's Bravo Uniform Romeo November Echo Sierra Sierra on the call sign Kilowatt India 0 Alpha Romeo. You've caught the tail end of the Colorado Astronomy Net. Welcome to the net, Mark. What have you got for us tonight? Go ahead. Okay, he did post. There he is. He did post over in the AIM window. It's got some antenna problems. Trying to work out some antenna problems. All right, Mark, if you're listening in, I do like to find out a little bit about your background interest in astronomy as well. So if you're still listening out there, if you'd post that over the AIM window, I'd appreciate it, and I'll pass that along to the net. But definitely appreciate you checking in, and welcome to the net. We are at the bottom of the list and well past the top of the hour. So, okay, go ahead and see if there are any more, let's see, any more questions, comments, or late check-ins before I wrap up the net for this evening. Anybody else? Questions, comments, late check-ins? If you are a late check-in, please call with your call sign phonetically twice. Please call KI0AR now.
KD7 Mike Lima India. KD7 Mike Lima India.
Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Victor Zulu. Kilo Quebec 4 Alpha Victor Zulu.
Kilo Juliet 7 Quebec Foxtrot. Kilo Juliet 7 Quebec Foxtrot.
Okay, good evening to you, Vic. K7MLI, thanks for checking in tonight. And Greg, KQ4AVZ, thanks for checking in tonight. And Susan, KJ7QGF, thanks for checking in tonight. Appreciate you checking in. Vic, what have you got for us tonight? K7MLI, go ahead.
K7 MLI, King Creek, Arizona. Monsoon season, so we have some thunderstorms and clouds, and I don't think it's going to be some clouds, some clear skies. We'll be looking for some meteors. That's about it. Appreciate you being there, brother. K7 MLI.
All right, Vic. Yeah. Hopefully those thunderstorms will blow out, and you'll see some meteors down there in dark sky area there for sure. Let's see. Next on the list, Greg in Georgia, KQ4AVZ. Good evening to you, Greg. What do you got for the night? Go ahead.
There we go. Now I'm transmitting. I'm coming to you by way of Neuralink on Echo Link. Very pleased to have stumbled across you as I was playing Echo Link. I have seen on NetWater the Colorado Net, Astronomy Net, but of course I couldn't possibly zoom on 2 meter. And very pleased to enjoy very much listening in. It's fantastic net, and I'll make a point of visiting you every week and checking out your, I think you probably got a website, but I'll do some research after that and look into that. Thanks very much for the welcome, and that's all I've got. Back to that, KQ4ABZ.
All right, Greg. Yeah, I was wondering if that was a new call. However, I typed that in and my database found you, so you've checked in before. I just can't remember when. I'll have to look and see. But yeah, again, let's see. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, it's in the list. Okay, it's been a while. It's been a long time because I've only got I've got the spreadsheet open for this year. But you're in my list, which has got quite a few years worth of check-ins. If I'd have way too many pages if I did all of my nets on one spreadsheet. It would take forever for it to load. But yeah, definitely Echo Link through skyhublink.com. Skyhublink.com. Check that out. And yeah, welcome to the net again. Yeah, there you go. And we meet at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 9 p.m. Georgia time. So there you go. So a little late for the East Coasters, but I do appreciate those of you who are on the East Coast sticking around and checking in for sure. And hopefully you've been listening in. My recordings are on YouTube as well, so you can check back and listen in. Definitely check out tonight's last week's and tonight's for more information about the Perseid meteor shower. We talked about that and a whole bunch more stuff. So check those out at your leisure. So there you go. You'll never miss the Colorado Astronomy Net again if you want to put up with 2 hours of me yakking. There you go. You can fast forward through a lot of that. But Greg, do appreciate your comments. Appreciate you checking in tonight, and definitely look forward to hearing more. Next on the list, Susan down in Arizona, KJ7QGF. Good evening to you, Susan. What have you got for the net tonight? Go ahead.
This is KJ7QGF. KJ7QGF. Hi, brothers. We love listening to the net tonight, and we are so excited about the meteor showers. So we're going to be watching for that, and we are getting a little bit of cool in the evening. So I mean, at least it's not a huge effort to be out at night anymore. So thank you so much for the net. We love hearing all the rocket reports and everything. And we really appreciate it. Thank you, Bernard. KJ7 CGS. This is Susan signing off.
All right, Susan, I do appreciate that. I really do. I love hearing that everybody likes the net for sure. I guess after 30 years, I don't want to seem like I'm forcing it on anybody. So I'm too glad that you guys all come back for more, for sure. And I do appreciate it. And the support. This is definitely a very much of my support network, especially after the loss of my wife there. So I do appreciate everybody being supportive of the Colorado Astronomy Net in particular, and me in particular as well. So I do appreciate that. Okay. It is running late. This is KI0AR net control for the Colorado Astronomy Net. I am going to go ahead and wrap up the net for this evening. Great turnout tonight. I do appreciate it. Bunch of new calls. Let's see. New check-ins, both new calls on here as well as over on YouTube. So everybody on YouTube, thanks. Thanks for checking in tonight. Hopefully you hit that thumbs up button and will subscribe. I do appreciate that. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new people checking in tonight. Love that. So I do appreciate it. With that, we had 26 check-ins tonight. Hopefully we'll hear from everybody next Tuesday night for another session of the Colorado Astronomy Net. I'd like to thank the Rocky Mountain Radio League for the use of their repeater systems. Also, I'd like to thank the SkyHub Link group for the use of their systems and all the ways that you guys can check into the net, Echolink and All-Star and over the radio and all the modes, the analog and digital modes that you guys can check in from all over the U.S. today. But we are global, so I do appreciate when we do get the DX stations checking in tonight with that. With that, I will say 73 and keep looking up. This is KI0AR. I'm clear.